Okay po, good morning. Let's start. So just give me 20 to 25 minutes. I'll just need to discuss this important topic on pre-calculus regarding the other identities that are present na hindi na po natin siya, na hindi na siya sinama dun sa proving trigonometric identities. But I need to discuss para hindi kayo ganong malito if maano nyo siya, ma-encounter. Okay, I'll just share my screen po. Okay, so these are add-even identities. When we add even identities, it will depend on the nature of the angle. So if the angle is negative, there is an effect to the function itself. If the angle is positive, there will be another effect to the function itself. For example, if you are asked to evaluate sine of a negative angle, therefore, it has a definite effect on the sine itself. So this one, sine of negative x is equal to negative sine of x, while cosine of negative x is equal to cosine of x. And tangent of negative x is equal to negative tangent of x. So makikita natin dito na it depends on the nature of the angle na kukuhanin natin yung trigonometric function niya. So tatandaan natin, for example, if you are given sine of, what is sine of negative 50? Sige nga guys, what is sine of negative 50? If you're asked to get the sine of negative 50, what happens? Anyone? If you're asked to get sine of negative 50, therefore, the answer would be?
Negative po.
Negative what? Negative?
Negative 0.77 po.
We're not getting the exact value. We're just evaluating it kung ano yung magiging nature niya. For example, if you're asked to get sine of negative 50, it becomes negative sine 50. Okay? Not clear. What if you're asked naman to get cosine of negative 105? What happens? If you're asked to get the value of cosine of negative 105, wag muna pala yung value. So, kuhanin muna natin kung ano yung magiging form niya. What is cosine of negative 105, guys? That becomes cosine of
105 po.
positive 105. Okay. So, what if you're asked to get secant of negative 500? What happens to secant of negative 500? It becomes
Secant of positive 500 po.
secant of positive 500. So that is the property of add-even identities. So nagiging positive, dalawa lang po yung function na nagiging positive. At sino po yung dalawang function na nagiging positive?
Cosine tapos.
Cosine tsaka secant po.
Because they are what? They are reciprocal, diba? Si cosine at si secant. So, kung ano yung nangyari kay cosine, yun din yung mangyayari kay secant if it is under odd-even identities. Ang negative po dyan, kung negative yung angle, tapos tinatanong ka what happens to sine, cosecant, tangent, cotangent, it remains negative. Yung function niya nagiging negative, yung angle nagiging positive. Tama po ba? So, for example, this is tangent. So, tangent of negative x, magiging positive tangent of x na yan, pero magiging negative yung start niya. Okay? So, is this clear po? Maliwanag po ba yung add-even identities natin?
Yes po.
Okay, so I'll stop na. So, doon naman tayo sa other identities. Okay, these are the other identities na meron po tayo. Excuse me. So, we have sum and difference, we have double angle, and we also have half angle. Meron pa tayong tinatawag na sum to product and product to sum. So, I'll just upload na lang yun. Pero ito yung mga iba pang trigonometric identities na given sa atin. Sum and difference, double angle, and half angle. Could you please take a screenshot? Actually, meron din kayo nito sa module na sinend ko. So, kahit na hindi nyo na pala screenshot kasi meron naman ito dun sa module. Pero isinulat ko na rin siya sa board para mas madali natin siyang matandaan. Okay. So, ituturo ko sa inyo kung paano siya mas madaling matandaan. Kasi ganito yung tinuro sa akin sa college. Nung college ako, mag-start tayo sa sum and difference identities. So, sa sum and difference identities, mag-start tayo with sine and then next cosine and then yung last natin is si tangent. May story kasi regarding this one. And the story goes by na naglalaba daw yung parent nung ikakasal. So, it's all about sa paglalaba niya kasi kamay daw yung ginamit niya. So, it's about kuskusin mo yung yung damit. So, mag-start tayo with sine. Sa sine kasi, it becomes sin cos cosin. Tatandaan lang natin, sin cos cosin. Okay? Yun yung sine. So, kapag sine plus sine times a plus b, therefore, plus din yung nasa taas at negative yung nasa baba. So, ibig sabihin nun, kunwari, sin A minus B, negative. Kapag sin A plus B, positive. So, ganun po yung pagtingin natin sa mga formula. May mga formula kasi na plus minus yung nakalagay. So, nakadepende siya ngayon dun sa arrangement niya, plus minus. Ibig sabihin, kung plus siya, plus din dapat yung una dito. Kung minus siya, minus dapat yung pangalawa doon. Okay. So, sa cosine naman, cosine A plus minus B, it becomes cos cos sin sin. Again, kapag cosine A plus minus B, cos cos sin sin. Okay? Sa cosine, nagkakaroon tayo ng pagkakaiba. So when we say cosine, it becomes A plus minus B. Tapos dito ang mangyayari, kung plus yung ginamit mo, minus dapat yung sign between two terms. So kung minus siya, plus dapat yung sign between two terms. Is that clear? Maliwanag po ba yon?
Opo, sir.
Okay. Papakita natin siya mamaya. So yung tapos nang maglaba yung nanay kasi ikakasal yung anak niya. So nung ikakasal na yung anak niya, came the day of the wedding. Nasa simbahan na sila. Biglang may tumugtog. Ano ba yung biglang itinutugtog sa simbahan? Guys. Kung may nakakatanda sa inyo, kunwari pumasok kayo sa simbahan, yun palagi. Yun yung melody na palagi nating naririnig pag umano tayo, pag pumasok tayo sa simbahan tapos may kasal. Meron bang pwedeng magsabi sa akin kung ano yun? And any volunteer po? Ano yun, Alphonse?
Tanan po.
Okay, so that is the melody na naririnig natin and that is applicable to tangent. That is tan, tan, tatan. Di ba? Apat yun palagi. Tan, tan, tatan. Okay? So, para mas lalo nating matandaan yung tangent, yun yung tatandaan natin palagi, yung may kinakasal. Kasi sa tangent, ang formula niya is tan A plus minus tan B over 1 minus tan A tan B. Kaya tatandaan lang natin, kapag sum and difference identities, ang tatandaan ko lang is yung may kinakasal. Kasi it goes by tan, tan, tatan. It's just that there is one here. Yun lang yung tatandaan natin. At kapag tangent, same lang siya ng sign na yung arrangement ng signs niya is tan A plus tan B kung plus siya. Tan A minus tan B kung minus siya. Pero, this becomes 1 minus. Okay? So, minus po siya. So, that is 1 minus. Kung plus siya, tapos plus naman po siya kung minus. Okay, maliwanag po yun ha? So magbabaligtad lang naman siya. Okay, is this clear po? Yung sine, cosine, tangent natin. Let's have an example. Okay, para hindi tayo malito. For example, I am given sine 40 plus 20. Wag na lang. Sine 45 plus 20. Okay. How do we expand this? Since we are using sine, it takes the form of sin, cos, sin. This is angle A, this is angle B. This must be angle A, this must be angle B. This is angle A, this is angle B. Since the sine between 45 and 20 is plus, that becomes plus. Tama po ba? Yes or no?
Yes po.
Okay.
Yes po.
And since this is sine A, it becomes sine 45 cosine 20 plus cosine 45 sine 20. And that is the expansion. Maliwanag po ito? This is the expansion po. Is this clear? Mamaya na natin siya i-evaluate. Are we clear with this expansion? Yes or no?
Yes po.
I am given sine 30 minus 15. Sine 30 minus 15. How do we expand sine 30 minus 15? It also takes the form of sin, cos, sin. But it is somehow different now. Why? Because this is negative. What happens if sine here is 30 minus 15? The sign here will become
Negative
minus.
minus po.
That is negative. So this is sine 30, cosine 15, cosine 30, sine 15. Is this the expansion? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Let's go to cosine. What if we're given cosine 45 plus 20? Anong sabi natin kapag cosine? Ano yung tatandaan natin? What are we going to remember? Kapag cosine?
Cos, sin, sin.
Sin. O, cos mo na yan ha. Cos, sin. Okay. But since this is plus and we are dealing with cosine, what happens to the sign between the two terms? It becomes
Minus po.
negative.
Negative.
Okay? Magiging minus na siya. This is angle A, this is angle B. Therefore, this is cosine 45, cosine 20, minus sine 45, cosine 20. And this is the expansion. Next, what happens if you are given cosine 30 minus 15? Since this is cosine again, it takes the form cos, sin. Okay? But this is negative. What happens to the sign of the expanded form? It becomes
Positive po.
positive. Therefore, this is cosine 30, cosine 15, sine 45, sine 20. So that is how we expand sine and cosine using sum and difference identities. And look at this double angle identity. Ganun lang din po natin siya i-expand sa double angle. For example, sine 2A. Binigyan ka ng angle na 30. Binigyan ka ng angle na 30. Therefore, that becomes 2A. So that becomes sine 60. Sine 60 could also be rewritten as sine 2 times 30. Therefore, yung angle mo dito is A, which is 30. And this becomes 2 sine 30 cosine 30. Check natin kung tama. Check natin kung tama, guys. Naalala niyo pa ba yung mga special angles na meron tayo? Can you still remember the special angles na meron tayo? Tatlo yon. That is 30, 45, 60. Can you still remember this one? The 30, 45, 60 angle?
Opo, sir.
Naituro ko ba sa inyo kung paano makuha si sine, cosine, and tangent kapag given ka ni 30, 60, ni 30, 45, 60? Naituro ko ba sa inyo yon? Yung sine 60, sine 30, cosine 45, tangent 45. Naituro ko ba sa inyo yon? Yes or no?
Opo.
Okay. Since naituro ko sa inyo yon, alam ko agad na alam nyo kung ano yung value ni sine 60. Ano po ba yung value ni sine 60? Guys, what is the value of sine 60? Alam
Square root of 3
Over 2 po.
Square root of 3
Over 2 po.
over 2. Okay, look at this. This is 2 times. What is sine 30?
1/2 po.
1/2. What is cosine 30?
Square root of
Square root of 3
Square root of 3 over 2. Cancel 2, cancel 2. 1 times square root of 3 over 2 is square root of 3 over 2. Do we have the same answer? Guys, do we have the same answer?
Yes po.
Okay. So that is how we apply the double angle identity using sign. Is this clear? Maliwanag po ba to?
Opo, sir.
Okay.
Yes po.
So ganun yung gagawin natin ha. So kailangan ma-express mo ito na dapat siya ay special angle. Ano pa ba yung mga ano natin? Okay. So, ano pa ba yung mga values natin na pwede siya na maging special angle? 60, 120. Okay. Sin 120. Sin 120. If we will be dealing with double angle, guys, if we are dealing with double angle, how do you write sin 120? How do you write sin 120? It is equal to sine of twice of what angle? Sine of twice of what angle?
60 po.
C. Okay. Therefore, kung isusulat natin to, it takes the form of 2 sine 60 cosine 60. Is this clear? Tama po ba?
Opo.
Okay.
Opo.
And it is now equal to 2 sine. What is sine 60, guys? Sige nga, what is sine 60? Sine 60 is
Square root of 3 over 3 over
square root of 3 over 2. And what is cosine 60? Cosine 60 is
1 half po.
Cancel 2, cancel 2. Therefore, this becomes square root of 3 over 2. And that is the answer. Okay, check natin kung tama. Pag sinabi kasi natin sin 120, it becomes this angle. Tama po ba? Ito po yung sin 120. But we will not be using this angle. Ano po yung gagamitin nating angle? Yung nasa taas o yung nasa baba?
Yung nasa baba po.
Yung nasa baba. But since this is 120, therefore this becomes 30. Eh ano ba yung angle natin sa baba na yon? This angle is equal to
60 po.
60. Therefore, this is quadrant 2. Sa quadrant 2, is sign positive? Yes or no?
Yes po.
Yes.
Yes. Sign is positive. Therefore, the answer must be positive. And what is sin 60? Sin 60 is square root of 3 over 2. Do we have the same answer? Yes, we will be getting the same answer. Maliwanag po ba ito? Gusto ko na kahit na pagbalik-balik ta rin yung given sa inyo, kahit na anong identity yung ibigay sa inyo, you will still be getting the same answer. And that is the purpose of trigonometric identities. Why? Because it is called an identity. Regardless of what type of identity you will be using, you will be having the same end result. Is that clear? Maliwanag po ba yun?
Yes po.
Opo, sir.
Kahit na anong identity yung ulit-ulitin nating gamitin, we will be arriving with the same answer. At yun yung gusto kong ma-instill sa inyo, na kahit na iba't iba yung solution na gamitin ninyo, kahit na iba't ibang identity yung ilagay ninyo dito, we will still have the same end result. Okay? So, that is how we apply the double angle identity. Ganun din po yung mangyayari sa half angle. So, kung itatry nyo, I will not anymore be discussing this one. Gusto ko itry nyo na lang siya. For example, trinay mo. Sin 90. Tatry mo dito. That is sin 90 over 2. It becomes 45, di ba? So, ano ba yung sin 45? Sige, itry na din natin. Tingnan natin kung lalabas yung tamang sagot. Sin 90 over 2. That is also equal to sin 45. Tama po ba? And what is sin 45? Sin 45 is square root
Square
of
root of 2
over 2.
square root of 2
over 2 po.
over 2. Let's try to find out kung lalabas siya dito. Therefore, sin 90 over 2 is equal to plus minus square root of 1 minus cosine of A, which is 90 over 2. Okay, guys? Could you please try to find out what is the value of cosine 90?
0 po.
0. 0. Tama po ba?
Opo.
Okay, that is 0. So therefore, that is 1 minus 0 over 2. And this becomes plus minus square root of 1 over square root of 2. But what is square root of 1?
1 po.
1 po.
1. What is square root of 2? It is just square root of 2. It is not yet the answer. All we have to do is to rationalize. And how do we rationalize 1 over square root of 2? Multiply the 2, the square root. That is square root of 2 over square root of 2. And this becomes what? 1 times square root of 2 is square root of 2. Square root of 2 times square root of 2 is
2.
Positive.
positive 2. Do we have the same answer?
Yes po.
Yes po.
Therefore, we will be getting the same answer. And that is how these identities work. Ganun po siya. Na kahit na iba't ibang identity yung gamitin natin, we will arrive with the same answer. Maliwanag po? Maliwanag po ba?
Opo, sir.
Kayo na yung bahala sa iba pa ha. I'll just giving examples na sa tingin ko ay mahalagang example para mas matutunan nyo siya ng mas maayos. Okay, so could you please take a screenshot po para mas madali po na mas madali po yung discussion natin. I'll be giving more examples po kasi. Okay? So I'll just delete muna. Nagkaroon na tayo ng example sa double angle. Nagkaroon na tayo ng example sa half angle. Pero ang gusto ko kasing instill sa inyo is yung pagkakaintindi nyo ng sum and difference identities. Kasi kung titingnan natin, ito kasi yung medyo gamit sa mga identities na other identities. Ito yung medyo gamit talaga. Kaya gusto ko medyo mag-focus tayo sa kanya. Okay, wait. Okay, so burahin ko na po yung iba. Okay, so balik tayo sa tangent. Natapos tayo kay cosine dito, balik tayo kay tangent. So what if we're given tangent 45 plus 20? Okay. Plus. Anong sabi natin kay tangent? Kay tangent is tan. Okay. But there is one here. This is plus. What happens to the numerator? It becomes
Plus po.
plus. What happens to the denominator? It becomes
Minus po.
minus.
Minus po.
Therefore, this is tangent 45, tangent 20, tangent 45, tangent 20. And that is the expansion. Is this clear? Maliwanag po yung expansion natin?
Yes po.
Okay? Tangent, next tayo. Tangent 30 minus 15. Tangent 30 minus 15. Look at this. It becomes tan. So that is tangent over 1, tangent. Since this is negative, what happens to the numerator?
Minus po.
Minus.
Negative.
What happens to the denominator?
Plus po.
Yes po.
Nalobat ako. I'm sorry. Hindi pala. Ayan. Okay, so yung denominator po natin, it becomes plus. So for this one, it becomes tangent 30 minus tangent 15, tangent 30, tangent 15. Okay? So, yan po yung gagamitin natin sa sum and difference identities. Okay. Let's have our example po. Let's have our example. Okay. So let's try to evaluate. Let's try to evaluate cosine of pi over 12. Visible ba? Nakikita nyo ba?
Opo.
Okay. So, paano natin sisimulan? Okay, paano natin sisimulan yung pag-evaluate nito? Actually, madali lang simulan yung pag-evaluate nito. All you have to do is to identify the angle. So, pag in-identify natin yung angle, that is pi over 12. So, yung iba sa inyo nahihirapan when we are dealing with radians. And they convert natin siya into degrees. So, if you will be converting, this is 180 over pi. So, cancel yung pi. What is 180 over 12? 180 over 12 will give us an answer of 15 degrees. Tama po ba? 180 divided by 12 is 15 degrees.
Opo.
Yes po.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin, this is equal to cosine of 15 degrees. And how do we evaluate? Paano natin malalaman? Is 15 degrees a special angle? Paano natin malalaman yung exact value niya? Is 15 degrees a special angle?
Hindi po.
No, it is not a special angle. The special angles are just 30, 45, and 60. But look at this, 30, 45, and 60. Is there a way na pag pinag-add natin or pag pinag-minus natin yung dalawa dito, ang lalabas ay 15? Meron po ba na pag pinag-add or pinag-minus natin yung dalawa dito, lalabas ay 15? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes
And
po.
those are
30.
35 minus 30.
45 minus 30. Cosine 45 minus 30. Is cosine 15 equal to cosine 45 minus 30? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Therefore, what form does this take? Anong form na po yung tinake niya? It
Sum and
takes the
difference
form of sum and difference identities of cosine. Therefore, it is cos, sin, sin. Okay? Cosine 45, cosine 30. Since this is negative, it becomes
Positive po.
positive. This
Positive.
is sine 45, sine 30. O, may tanong ako sa inyo. May makukuha ka na bang value ng cosine 45, cosine 30, sine 45, sine 30?
Yes po.
Meron po.
What is cosine 45? Cosine 45 is
Square root of 2
square root of
over
2
2.
over 2. Cosine 30 is 1/2. 1/2 ba cosine 30? No, it is not 1/2. What is cosine 30? Cosine 30 is
Square root of 3 over 2 po.
square root of 3 over 2. Plus, what is sine 45? Sine 45 is
Square root of 2 over
square root of 2 over 2, and sine 30 is 1/2. Simplify. Multiply natin ha. Square root times square root. Anong mangyayari kapag dalawang square root? Ano na lang imumultiply natin? Imumultiply na lang natin yung
Under radical sum.
yung number sa loob. That is 2 times 3, 6. Therefore, it becomes square root of 6 over 2 times 2 is 4 plus square root of 2 times 1 is square root of 2 over 2 times 2, which is 4. Therefore, it becomes over 4 since pareho naman siya ng denominator at i-add na lang natin yung numerator. That is square root of 3 plus square root of 2. And that is the value of cosine 15. Are we clear?
yes.
Sir,
Okay? Yes.
sir, sir, since cosine 15 naman po yun, di ba pwede po ba yung double angle identity po? Since kapag dinouble po yung 15, magiging 30 po siya.
Hindi pwede. Double angle? Hindi pwede. Kasi ang pinagbabasihan natin sa double angle is the angle. This is 2 times 15. So, pag naglagay ka dito ng sine A, ang A natin is 15. May value ba si sine 15? Is may exact value ba si sine 15?
Wala po.
Wala.
Okay.
Maliwanag.
Nilinaw ko lang po.
Kaya
Thank you po.
hindi natin pwedeng gamitin si double angle, hindi natin pwedeng gamitin si half angle kasi pag hinaf pa natin si 15, 7.5, mas lalong wala. Pag kinuha naman natin si 15 dito, hindi porket nagsabi siya na double angle is 2 times 15, 30 na yung gagamitin natin. No. Yung angle itself pa rin yung pagbabasihan natin. Okay? So, ang best na application niya is sum and difference identities.
Okay po, sir. Thank you po.
Okay? So, what if we're now given sine 105 degrees? Okay, I'm giving you 1 minute to analyze what happens to sine 105 degrees. Okay, let's now answer. Sine 105 degrees. What two special angles that when added or subtracted will result to 105 degrees?
60 po.
Tsaka
45.
60 and 45. Therefore, it becomes sine 60 plus 45. And we are dealing with sine now. What is the expansion of sine? It becomes
sin, cos, cosine.
sin, cos, cosine. This is plus, at sine yung pinagbabasihan natin, therefore it becomes plus. Sin, sine 60, cosine 45, cosine 60, sine 45. What is the answer for sine 60, guys? Sine 60 is square root of
3 over 2 po.
square root of 3 over 2. What is cosine 45? That is square root of 2 over 2. Cosine 60 is 1/2. Sine 45 is square root of 2 over 2. Multiply. Square root of 3 times square root of 2, that is square root of 6. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1/2 times square root of 2 over 2 is square root of 2 over 4. LCD 4. Therefore, the numerator is square root of 6 plus square root of 2. And this is the final answer. Are we clear?
Yes po.
Yes po.
Okay, may question po ba doon? Could you please take a screenshot po so that we could proceed with the next example? Okay na? Okay? So let's proceed with our other examples. Okay, what if binigyan ka ng ganitong example? What are we going to do? You're asked to evaluate cosine 42 degrees, cosine 18 degrees, minus sine 42 degrees times sine 18 degrees. Okay. So, dapat mabilis kang mag-analyze if you're given this example. Kasi, dapat isang tingin mo lang alam mo agad. Okay, we're dealing with cosine. Cos, cosine, sin. Pag sinabi na cos, cosine, sin, therefore, it takes the form of what? It takes the form of
Cos po.
Cosine A plus B.
Cosine po.
A. This is negative. Therefore, it becomes plus B. Is this clear? But what are the two angles? The two angles are
42
plus
18.
18.
plus 18.
18 po.
And what is 42 plus 18?
60 po.
60.
60.
60
Therefore,
po.
what is cosine 60?
1/2 po.
Cosine 60 is 1/2. And if you're asked to evaluate this form, therefore, the evaluated answer would be 1/2. Is that clear? Maliwanag po ba?
Yes,
Maliwanag po ba na kapag given kayo ng ganong form is ito lang yung gagawin nyo? Ganito lang po. Okay, next example po tayo. What if you're given sine 20 degrees times cosine 10 degrees plus cosine 20 degrees and then sine 10 degrees? Ano yung na-analyze mo sa kanya? It takes the form of sin, cos, cosine. Kapag sin, cos, cosine, therefore, it is
Sin.
sine of A. This is plus, therefore it becomes
Plus.
plus B.
Plus po.
Okay. It takes the form of sine A plus B. Our sine A is 20. Our B is 10. And what is 20 plus 10? That is 30. If that is 30, what is the evaluated form of sine 30?
1/2 po.
1/2. Therefore, it is 1/2. And pag tinanong ka kung ano yung answer dito sa mahabang to, eto lang po yung sagot. Okay, maliwanag po ba yun?
Yes po.
Okay, so let's have another example po. What if you are now given tangent 50 degrees minus tangent 20 degrees over 1 plus tan 50 tan 20. Tan, this is negative, this is positive, therefore it takes the form of tangent of
A plus minus
A
B.
minus
minus B.
Okay? Therefore, this is tangent 50 minus 20. Tangent 50 minus 20 is tangent 30. And what is tangent 30, guys? Tangent 30 is 1 over square root of 3. Or, i-multiply natin siya sa square root of 3 over square root of 3. The answer is square root of 3 over 3. Is square root of 3 over 3 the answer? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that is the correct answer. Okay, let's have another example. What if you're given tan 20 plus tan 25 all over 1 minus tan 20 tan 25? Okay, so again, it takes the form of tangent, but this is tan plus minus. Therefore, it is tan of
A plus B.
A plus B. Tangent of A plus B. Therefore, that is tangent of, what is our A? Our A is 20. Our B is 25. And what is 20 plus 25?
45 po.
And what is tangent 45?
1 po.
1 po.
1 is the correct answer. And that is how we do it. Is this clear? Maliwanag po ba yon?
Yes po.
Okay. Lan, kanina ano yung tanong mo?
Sir, kung applicable po yung double identity po sa nauna pong
15?
example kanina.
Opo, sir.
15 degrees kung applicable yung double angle.
Yes po, sir.
Okay, double angle is not applicable for 15 degrees. But what's applicable with 15 degrees is half angle. Ano yung sagot natin kanina? Ano yung tanong kanina, guys? Na meron tayong nag-deal tayo sa 15? Ano yung tinanong natin kanina sa 15?
Cosine 15 po.
Cosine 15. And what is your answer? Square root of 6
Plus
plus
square
square
root
root of
of 2 over 4 po.
over 4. Okay, ito yung sagot natin kanina sa cosine 15. Okay, hanapin natin si cosine 15 using half angle. Okay, tingnan natin to Lan, kung mapapalabas natin yung half angle using, yung cosine 15 using half angle. Okay, so pwede nating sabihin that this is cosine 15 is cosine 30 over 2. Is this safe to say that cosine 30 over 2 is also cosine 15, Lan?
Hindi po.
Ha? Bakit?
Cos-
Is cosine 15 equal to cosine 30 over 2?
yes po, sir.
Yes.
Is this safe to say that they are equal? Yes or no?
Yes po.
Therefore,
Yes,
look
boss.
at this. Look at this. Cosine 30 over 2 is equal to plus minus square root of 1 plus cosine of A over 2. Therefore, that is equal to plus minus square root of 1 plus cosine A. We will deal with 30. So that is cosine of 30 and divide all the terms by 2. Therefore, that is plus minus square root of 1 plus, what is cosine 30? Anyone?
Square root of
3 over 2.
What is cosine 30?
Square root of 3 over
square root
2
of
po.
3 over 2 po.
Square over 2. Over 2. Okay? Look at this. Simplify po natin. If we will be simplifying this one, this is 2. Therefore, 2 times 1 is 2 plus square root of 3. That is square root. This is all over 2. Tama po ba? Yes or no? Tama po?
Yes po.
Okay. So, this becomes, guys, this becomes 2 plus square root of 3 over 2 times 1/2. But this must be inside the square root sign. Tama po ba yung pag-evaluate natin? Tama po? Etong part na to?
Yes po, sir.
Okay. Therefore, this is now equal to square root of 2 plus 3, kasi minultiply lang siya sa 1. Square root of 2 plus square root of 3, minultiply siya sa 1, over 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. So, inilabas natin sa root sign si 4. Therefore, it becomes square root of 2 plus square root of 3 over 2. Okay. So, if that is the case, paano natin ngayon mapagkakamukha itong dalawa? Paano natin mapagkakamukha ngayon yung dalawa? Or are they the same? Sa tingin nyo, are they the same? Okay, analyze po. Are they the same? Since ito yung lumabas sa atin, I'm giving you 2 minutes to analyze. Or may nakaligtaan ba tayo na dapat gawin sa kanya? Okay. Ano pong na-analyze natin? Are they the same po? Baka nagsasolve pa yung iba. Wait natin. Okay, ano pong na-analyze natin? Actually, if we will be evaluating this one, kung kukunin natin yung decimal form niya, actually magkamukha talaga siya. Na-try niyo po ba na gamitin yung calculator niyo and then write this term? At sinulat niyo din yung term na to? Na-try niyo po ba siya? Meron po bang nag-try? Meron po ba nag-try sa inyo? Ang lalabas dyan is 0.96 something. Tama ba?
Yes po.
Okay. So, yan yung lumabas dito. So, pag in-evaluate mo to, equal lang din siya pag in-evaluate mo. It's just that they have different forms. So, if sa exam natin may lumabas na ganito, and then we have two different forms, I will accept it since they have the same value. So, same lang din siya ng value, it's just that magkaiba siya ng form. So, kapag sinimplify further natin yung isang term na to, tapos makita natin yung ibang form niya, which is equal dun sa form na to, kahit na magkaiba sila in radical form, therefore, it is still accepted and they are the same in value. So, yung exact value nila would be 0.96 something. So, they are both accepted. So, ganun po yun. May mga times kasi na hindi talaga nagiging equal yung visual value niya, na yung isa in radical form, hindi sila nag-equal since may iba ng pinagdaanan na process yung isang identity. But after all, its exact value will be the same. Is that clear? So if gusto mo siyang ma-check, might as well use your calculator and have it in decimal figure. So makikita mo if they are really the same. So napatunayan nyo ba sa calculators nyo that they are really the same? Na-try nyo po ba?
Yes.
Opo,
Okay.
sir.
So they have the same exact value in decimal figure. It's just that they do not have the same visual value when it comes to their fractional form or in their rational form. So dun sila nagkakaiba. But after all, the end result in decimal form is still the same. Okay, so Lan, if you will be using cosine or half angle identity in order for you to find 15 degrees, whether it is sine, cosine, or tangent, you still be having the same answer. Okay, question? Questions, clarifications? Meron pa po bang tanong? Still have questions? Pwede nyo na po siyang screenshot before I end the live po.